This week's Parsha is Parshas Bamidbar. Parshas Bamidbar occurs immediately after the giving of the Torah at Mount Sinai, when the Jewish people received the Torah from Hashem, and now they have finished building the tabernacle, the Mishkan. Now Moshe, who always conversed with Hashem, used to do it all the time in the open. He didn't hide behind closed doors. There was no specific place or house where Moshe communicated with God. But at this point, all communications between Moshe and Hashem occur within the Holy of Holies, inside of the Mishkan, inside the tabernacle. The question is, why all of a sudden now was the communications narrowed to this place in the Mishkan, the Holy of Holies? Why up until this point was there no necessity to have a specific place behind closed doors where there is privacy, where Moshe communicated with God? So the Medrash says that when the Ohel Moed, when the Mishkan, the tabernacle, was built, Hashem said that modesty is a good thing. Hashem appreciated the fact that now he could converse with Moshe behind closed doors, within the Holy of Holies. So why all of a sudden now? So the Jewish people, up until this point, did not acquire the stature of the chosen nation. They had not acquiesced to the Torah. They had not decided to follow Hashem's directives definitively until they actually said, Na'aseh v'nishma, we will do and we will listen at Mount Sinai, thereby accepting all the Torah's precepts and laws. So the Jewish people just recently achieved their status. Hashem, of course, is the King of all kings and has very great stature. So at this point, Reb Henoch Leibowitz explains, Hashem decided that it was no longer proper for them to speak out in the open. The words of the Midrash, which we quoted before, is that Hashem said that modesty is a good thing. The Medrash further states, Kol kavoda bas melech pnima. All of the honor of a daughter of a king is inside, is internal. What this means, Reb Henoch Leibowitz says, is that the more precious something is, the more valued it is, the more it's held in esteem, the less it is exposed. The less you put something in esteem, the more you put it down, the more you're willing to expose it and just leave it out in the street. You don't take your fanciest jewelry to go to the marketplace, an outdoor marketplace. You reserve it for special occasions. And so here, the communications between an honored nation, the chosen nation, the leader of the chosen nation, and Hashem deserved a proper place for their communications. Now, this only occurred after the giving of the Torah at Mount Sinai, because now the Jewish people had achieved the status of the chosen nation. At this point, it was required that the communications between Moshe and Hashem be done in a proper and respectful place, behind closed doors, where it was modest, where it was held internally and not exposed to the public. This is something that can teach us a lot about modesty. There are many things a person can be modest with, whether it be his dress, his way of life, and how he spends his money and where he shows off that which he bought. Jewish people are supposed to be modest. It's a misconception to think that modesty is because a person should be bashful or shameful of his possessions. That's not the case. Or shameful of his attributes. A person who has proper respect for those gifts God has given him will be modest about those gifts because he appreciates those gifts and realizes their value. The less a person values whatever he exposes, the more he's willing to expose it. If a person has no value for his body, he will expose his body. A person who has value for his body, for who he is, for the importance of the soul that's within him, he will be more willing to keep it behind closed doors because he realizes how precious and how special it is. Have a good Shabbos.